Hello, my fellow golf ball addicts. Welcome back to the channel. There's only two left. There's this one and then there's one more. We are almost at the conclusion of our ranking of the 100 golf balls that have been tested on this channel. Super excited about that. First of all, if you have not seen how I'm ranking these videos, I have a link in the description. It'll show you what I'm basing these rankings on. That way you know. It's just a couple minutes, but otherwise, let's dive right into this. Now listen, when we're in the top 20, we're starting off with 19, of course. These are all golf balls that are top tier. I mean, I know they're not quite top 10. I know there's going to be better ones, but all the golf balls I'm about to mention to you are ones that I would not only recommend to other golfers. I mean, they're just phenomenal. They're phenomenal in some way or another. They do something exceptionally well. A lot of them do a lot of stuff exceptionally well. It just depends on the golf ball, but these are all now top 20. These are all the cream of the crop. So if you see a golf ball you play on here, it's not disrespect that it's, in the teens or whatever. That's out of 100, that's a really prestigious honor. So let's dive right in here. I know a lot of you got some of your golf balls still on your bingo card that have not come off yet. So let's see if any of them get erased here. So let's start out with number 19, which is number 19, the MaxFly Straight Fly. One of my favorite golf balls I've tested on the channel for sure. So what makes the MaxFly Straight Fly so great? Well, it is the distance golf ball between the two. You have the soft fly and the straight fly. It's a two-piece golf ball that really is just designed to go far and straight, and it does both those things really, really well. It has a good feel off the club. It springs off the club nice. It does everything you need it to do. I love how they included an alignment tool this year. I love how, MaxFly, they mix up the colors. They actually do a pretty decent design with the golf ball. But more importantly, really across the board, it just does consistent performance, whether it's with my short irons, whether it's with my mid irons. I actually had really good 9-iron performance. I actually got about 2 miles an hour more than my average. But I mean, overall, it's just really straight. It's really forgiving. It really does everything that you would want out of a beginner two-piece golf ball. And of course, one of the best things about it is going to be that value. You can get them 2 for $30 or 2 for $35, depending on the sale. And at $15 a dozen or $17.50 a dozen, it's one of the best deals on the market, period. If someone's wanting to stock up on, easy forgiving golf balls for the golf season, and you like MaxFly, it's really easy to do that. And then you can even buy them in a 4-pack, I think, for even cheaper. So I mean, really the value here is just insane, and especially for the quality of golf ball you're getting. Now, the golf ball would have been a little higher if the numbers maybe had popped off the page a little bit more, but no, they were just average and they were consistent, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, having my averages across the board isn't a bad thing because I know what my shots are going to be. Some of these golf balls, if you've seen this list so far, are, yeah, my 9-iron goes average, but then my hybrid is like 10 yards further than it is with another ball, and it's like, well, now I got to remember that. So having average across the board isn't necessarily a bad thing. But number 18, the Cut Red. Well. I bet this eliminates a lot of bingo cards for sure. This is by far the ball. This and the Wilson Zip were the two golf balls that by far were guessed the most when I asked, hey, what golf ball do you think is number one a few videos ago? And I got all these comments. It was the Cut Red and the Wilson Zip were the two. A lot of you thought the Cut Red was going to be my number one. It's definitely one of the most talked about golf balls on the channel. It's definitely one I recommend a ton. So why so low? Why 18? Well, first of all, let's talk about the good, okay? So the good with the Cut Red is it has amazing short iron numbers. Across the board, I had gains. The driver numbers were awesome, one of the best I had tested at the time. And really the best part about this golf ball more than anything is the fact that it's $1 a golf ball. You can get a 24-pack for $23 at Walmart or something, so it's actually under $1 a golf ball. So the fact that I was able to get a golf ball that had such amazing performance really across the board at an amazing price. It has a decent design. It has a little alignment tool for beginner golfers. It has a lot of the things that I look for in a golf ball, and it performed everything really well. So why the low score? Well, there's a couple things. The first one is, although all the clubs were pretty good, there was one in particular that wasn't. My mid irons were just okay. They were average, but they were just okay. I wish that had been a little higher, and if it had been a little higher, it would have propelled it much higher into the list, definitely into the top 10, but that kind of shot it down a little bit. And the other thing is I did have to kind of knock it down for durability a little bit. Now when I tested this golf ball, you know, heck, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I didn't have any issues with the durability really. But since that point, I've had a lot of you come forward after the following golf season and was like, hey, I'm hitting these things and they're cracking. And normally with that, I always have a policy. I say, hey, listen, until it happens to me, I can't verify it. But I've had probably 30 to 40 people now on that review on the channel say that they've had durability issues. Now, most of them are like, hey, at $1 golf ball, I don't care. If I hit it and it cracks, I'll just grab another one. But still, it's not right. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Cut's been kind of iffy. I don't know if Cut's really making a push to be in this market for much longer. I don't know if their quality control is what it used to be. But because I've had so many people tell me that the durability is just, I mean, bottom tier, I have to kind of knock it a few points for that. I can't, you know, once or twice might be a coincidence, but 30, 40 is real results. So that's the other thing that really knocked this golf ball down. So the Cut Red does plenty of things right, but those two things that are just okay or whatever are definitely what shot it down to be in the high teens. So sorry to everyone who had this at number 1, but it is number 18, which was crazy to me too. It was a surprise to me just as much as it was to you when I found it out. So number 17, the Snell MTB Prime. Definitely a big Snell supporter here on this channel. When they did the redesign for 2023, I was super excited about it. Snell was kind enough to send me the golf balls even. I've always been a huge fan of them, and I was not disappointed. So the Snell MTB Prime is a 3-piece. It's supposed to kind of mimic a tour ball, really, but what's really nice about it is it's only $33 a dozen, which is coming from Dean Snell. It's an amazing value considering, you know, the history you're getting, the mind who's creating the golf ball you're getting, the quality you're getting, along with really just the price. I can't believe it's still that price. It actually, I would have thought for sure that this would have went up, you know, with COVID, inflation, but really they've been running deals that make it even cheaper. So at one point you could get them for $19.99 a dozen with free shipping during the month of December, you know, for Christmas or whatever. It was like end of season sale. The value is just through the roof for what you're getting. It's absolutely incredible. I know they're going to continue to make even more adjustments and make them better for 2024. But here's the thing. I know some of you have issues with durability. You've told me, but I've played this golf ball a lot and I just haven't seen it. And I know we just got done with the Cut Red, but it's like I haven't had that many people tell me. I have had some people rip me apart on Messenger or whatever, and they're like, hey, these are terrible, but I've never experienced that. I've been playing them for 6 months now and I still really haven't had any issues with durability. It is what it is, but why doesn't the Snell get higher than 17? Really, it's the performance. So again, this is an average consistent of performance. Nothing's below average, nothing's above average. It's average across the board. What propels it high is its design, its value, also durability for me at least. I loved, you know, the whole rebranding they did. All those things. The green side feel was awesome. I love it around the greens. All those other factors really help propel it really, really high and get it into this list, because I tell people all the time, if you're looking for a tour level golf ball that you can still get tons of performance out of, that you know you can trust, you know is going to do what you want it to do, the Snell's an amazing option at $33 a dozen, $35 a dozen, compared to these Pro V1s that are now $55 a dozen. The new Callaway this year, $55 a dozen. It's insane. The fact that you can get one for almost half the price of that, you just can't beat it. So that's really what helped this golf ball a lot. So it's one of my favorites. I love it. If you're someone looking for a tour ball, the Snell's always worth a shot. Number 16, the Super Soft Max. Definitely a wild card in here. This is one that I knew tested really well at the time, but my guess is that it wouldn't have been in the teens. It probably would have been in the 30s or 20s, somewhere in there. But here's the thing. The Callaway Super Soft didn't really test that well. It was pretty low on this list. I can't even remember where it was, but it was definitely a while ago, for sure, a while ago. So what sets the Super Soft Max apart? Well, the Max is actually a bigger golf ball. It's actually not a normal size regulation golf ball. It is slightly bigger, which makes it hard to putt. I usually tell people not to putt with it, but here's the benefit of that. It's extremely forgiving. It's extremely easy to get up in the air. It's a two-piece golf ball with plenty of bounce to the ounce. You can put it down, swing your club, hit it. It goes really high, really far, and really straight. And when I had my swing speed at 92, 93 mile an hour with the driver, I really thought I was going to overcompress the heck out of it, and I didn't. I had some of the best driver numbers I had gotten on the channel. I had really good 5 hybrid numbers. I had really good 7-iron numbers. Across the board, really, everything was a gain in distance. The golf ball looks really good. It has a nice big thick alignment tool, which is awesome as well. Really the only thing that affects this golf ball and kind of brings it down actually is really the value. It's $25 for a dozen, which in 2024, 25 kind of seems to be the normal two-piece price. That seems to be where everything's going. But when this golf ball came out in 2022, it actually was, that's the highest. That's the highest you would see a two-piece golf ball was $24.99. Most of them were, you know, $19.99, 2 for $35. You know, you had like a $22.99 in there occasionally, but the 25 is the pinnacle. That's like what the Titleist True Feel is. So it's a fantastic golf ball. If you're really new to the game, if you're a senior, if you're someone who really needs help getting the ball up in the air, lady golfers, it's great for lady golfers for sure. My mom uses the Riva, which is the female version of this golf ball, and loves it. It's so easy to hit. Any beginner, if you're learning the game or if you're getting older and you just need help getting it up in the air, I don't know of a better golf ball than this. It's really fantastic. Number 15, the Vice Pro Plus. All right, so if you're paying attention with your bingo cards, the Vice Pro Plus is the first one out of the Vice Tour line, whether it be Pro, Pro Soft, Pro Plus. It's the first one out of those three that has come off the board. Mainly the reason it's at 15 is because it's for a very faster swing speed. Now, actually, I was able to get some pretty decent numbers with it, but the numbers were a little inconsistent just because, again, it's for a fast swing speed. 92, they have a Pro and a Pro Soft for me. This one ain't even for my swing speed, but here's the thing. It got to 15 despite that. So I still got really good numbers with it. The durability was fantastic. Vice has an amazing design and value. They have all these different colors and drip and, you know, all this stuff. It's fun to be a part of Vice. It really is. I enjoy the heck out of it. I enjoy using their golf balls. It's just a fun time. A lot of people are really going on to it. And if you like Vice, you can get the golf balls essentially for like $31 a dozen if you buy them in bulk. And that's another thing you just can't beat. I mean, Snell, we were just talking about 33 a dozen being such an amazing deal. Getting the Vice for 31 to 32 a dozen is a really, really good deal, especially when you consider, you know, you can show personality with them. You can get the different, you know, special editions they do. They've done all kinds of special editions and stuff. There's a collector's market there now. Vice does a lot of things right, and really it just checks all boxes. If it wasn't for the fact that it was so firm and I just had issues compressing it at times with the numbers, it'd be even higher. But I know what you're thinking. Well, what about the golf balls that were meant for your swing speed? Well, they're not here yet, so we'll see where they end up. Number 14, the Encore Vero X2. Another golf ball that really came out of nowhere. This was one of the last few golf balls I tested before I made this video. I had always been an Encore fan, and I'd done the Elixir twice. I've done the Vero X1 twice. The Avant 55 I've done, that was pretty high on the list as well. I think it was high 20s or something like that. But the Vero X2 really came out of nowhere because my thought process was, when I first got a hold of it, was, well, what's this even for? Is it a sequel? Is it got improvements? Is it a different golf ball? I wasn't really sure where they were going with it. No, it really felt like a sequel. It really felt like a sequel because the X1, yeah, it had some good stuff about it. It had some stuff to build on. It had some stuff to grow and improve. But the X2 just came out of the gate swinging really fast off the club. Spring, bounce to the ounce, has bouncy ball effect. I mean, hitting it was fun. I knew the numbers before I even saw them were going to be fantastic. You could just tell. And that did translate, of course, to the numbers as well, because even though I only had an average 9-iron, I had amazing 7-iron numbers, record-breaking 5 hybrid numbers, incredible driver numbers across the board. The durability was awesome. It has a thick coating of urethane on it, you can tell. Really the only thing that knocked this golf ball down a little bit, one, is value, because the value can be good. There's good potential there. If you join Encore's Club and you get, you know, additional discounts and you get free shipping and all that, the value is through the roof. But if you don't do that, you got to spend 40 a dozen plus pay for the shipping. It ends up being around 50. Really, the buying in bulk is the only way to go. Otherwise, there's no value. So that hurts it a little bit. And then, of course, I'm not a big fan of the alignment tool, but the alignment tool doesn't knock it down a ton. It just knocks it down a little before you eat me alive for that. But value in that design could be better, basically, are only the two things that knock it down. I mean, when you're this close, when you're in the top 14 golf balls, this is what I preach on the channel all the time. These little details are going to propel one golf ball above another. If I've got two golf balls that both perform awesome, I've got to pick one. And if one has a cool alignment tool and one doesn't, that's going to get it. Because again, if they all both perform really well, they both have great durability, I've got to separate them somehow. And when you get to this nitty gritty and this many great golf balls, there's just that little separation. And so the value is really important there. Being able to get them for a cheaper price is important, but it is what it is. The Vero X2 is a fantastic golf ball, and if you're someone who wants to get into that direct-to-consumer market and you don't want to quite pay the Pro V1 prices anymore, but you still want a great golf ball, there's a reason that there are retired now, but tour players that endorse this golf ball. I mean, Josh Allen endorses this golf ball. I mean, he's an athlete. He's 6'5", 6'6", and 300 pounds, 2% body fat. I mean, my God, the guy knows how to swing a golf club. He is an athlete, and he knows what he's doing. It's not just about the money. So Vero X2 is an amazing golf ball, and it came out of nowhere. Really good job, Encore. This is awesome. Number 13, the Srixon Z-Star 15. One of the first golf balls I tested on the channel, and it has survived all through the 100 that have been tested, and it still reigns towards the top. Srixon golf balls, especially their Tour Line golf balls, I've always really liked. I like how they come off the club. I like how they design them. And the 15 really was the pinnacle of it. I got the most yardage. It had the most spring. It was the most fun to hit, which is really weird because I thought it was going to be for faster swing speeds, but no, at the time it actually felt the best, and I got the best numbers with it. Across the board, especially with the driver, I got fantastic numbers. It was one of the best driver performances I'd had at the time, which I know doesn't say much. It was one of the first golf balls, but that number held up for a really, really, really long time. Everything was really good. If there's anything that kept this golf ball out of the top 10, it was really just one, design's okay, but the other big thing is durability. There have been some issues with durability in the past. I've started to see it a little bit. I didn't see it at first, but I had people tell me like, hey, I quit buying these because they would be not perfectly round or they'd be whatever, you know, and I have started to see that a little. I think it's gotten better, but it is enough to kind of knock it down a couple spots and keep it out of the top 10. But otherwise, great performance, does a lot of things well. Value-wise, if you can get them at the buy two, get one free, I think they're like 45, 46 a dozen. So if you can get them buy two, get one free, it's an amazing deal. And honestly, it's something you could really put your faith behind as a brand and say, hey, I'm going to use this golf ball exclusively because you know a couple times a year you're going to get really good deals, get them for really cheap, but also they're going to perform for you. Number 12, the Pinnacle Rush. Absolutely, bar none, one of my favorites. You know, and what I've realized about the Pinnacle Rush is it's just really overlooked. A lot of people I've met look at me sideways when I'm like, yeah, Pinnacle. And they're like, you mean those cheap, you know, range golf ball? And I'm like, no, like Pinnacle makes a good golf ball. They come out of the Titleist plant. Titleist owns the company. This is a really forgiving two-piece golf ball that does a lot of things really well. It has a great feel off the club face. It performs well. I had amazing numbers with the, you know, short irons, and then everything else was very consistent and straightforward, average, which was awesome. The durability held up extremely well, which I loved. They're still soft and forgiving. I mean, there's just a lot to love here, and especially one of the things I love the most about it is it does all these things really well, and for 20 bucks you can get 15 golf balls, which is one of the better deals on the market for sure. It's a golf ball that, again, if you just need straight, if you just need easy to get up in the air, if you need forgiveness, if you need all this stuff, hey, I want to get the ball on the green, I want to get it on the fairway, and then I want to get it on the green, and then I want to get it on the hole. This is a great golf ball for that because the value's there. You can tell it's well made. You can tell the production is nice. It's really the best of both worlds. You're getting partially a Titleist golf ball, but without having to pay those ridiculous premiums for it saying Titleist on it because they're paying everybody on tour $1 billion. Like, it's really the best of both worlds for sure. So don't overlook the Pinnacle. If you're someone who wants a good two-piece golf ball, give it a shot, especially if you're a mid-swinger. There's also the Pinnacle Soft, which is for the slower swingers. I over-compressed it, but if you're in the 80, 85 range, both of these golf balls hold up really well, and they were both, I think, in the top 30. I think so, yeah. Sorry, it's been too many now, but I'm pretty sure they're both in the top 30, so they are worth a shot for sure. Number 11, the Mizuno Tour X 2023. So this is where we land with our final Mizuno ball. I've actually had 4 Tour Mizuno balls on this list, and it was weird because if you've been keeping track, they flip-flopped. In 2022, it was the regular Tour that did so well, but the X was terrible, and now in 23, it completely flip-flopped, and the Tour was terrible, and the X was amazing. I could not believe how amazing the X performed for me. When I first was testing this golf ball, it was jumping off the club so well that I was trying to break records with it. I'll be honest with you, I was swinging really hard, trying to, you know, get these numbers where they'd never been because the golf ball was just so fun to hit.
honestly, it was one of the most funnest golf balls I've tested just because of how it came off the club, how it performed. I had an incredible 9-iron performance, just average on the 7-iron, but I had a fantastic 5 hybrid performance as well as a top-tier driver performance. It had great, awesome durability. I had 0 issues with it. The design is just okay. I really wish they'd put a decent alignment tool on there, but I won't hold it against it too much. The value is maybe not the best in the industry, but the value is not bad. You can get these for like $42, $43 a dozen, which for the tour level golf ball is becoming a good deal. Like I just mentioned before, it's $55 now for the Pro V1. It's $55 for the Chrome Soft. I think the TP5 is going to like $52, $53. So $42, $43 actually is becoming a pretty good deal for tour golf balls, especially one that's branded from a big-time golf company. A lot of people love Mizuno. It has a cult following. So I think if they can keep that price there, they might turn a lot of people onto them. And I'll be honest with you, I'm one of those people if they put an alignment tool on there. And I'm not doing number 10 for obvious reasons, because I want the final video to, of course, be the top 10. So listen, all those golf balls I just mentioned are fantastic golf balls. I love all of them. If you're wondering why, like, hey, it sounds like you're being really nitpicky with a lot of them, well, I have to be. Like, I have to be. These are all fantastic golf balls. These are all golf balls I've recommended to a variety of people. They're all golf balls that I've at one point said, hey, try this golf ball, and all of them have come back and said, hey, I love it, it's their gamer now. They're just fantastic. They're really good golf balls. They're some of the best I've tested on the channel for sure, but they're not as good as the top 10. So keep an eye out, guys. I really appreciate it. As always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. We have the top 10 coming next. We are finally here. The drama, everything has led to this. Let's go.